Hello everyone, welcome once again. My name is Logan and this is Decode Your Reality, and today I'm going to be breaking down and decoding part 2 of the character Lucifer, which, many people believe is the devil. What's running Lucifer? Is Lucifer the devil himself, or is he being run like a puppet on strings? Well, we're going to find out during this presentation. So here are the topics that I'm going to be discussing during this presentation. This is going to be quite a lengthy presentation, so, get yourself in a comfortable position. I promise you it'll be well worth your wait of watching this presentation. So number 1, we're going to be getting into theology. Can't leave that out. Number 2, the original name of Lucifer. Number 3, the father, the devil. What does that mean? Number 4, God and his wife. Could Lucifer have a father, which is called God, or is he God? We're going to talk about the father and son, and then we're going to be getting into the cast of the Netflix show Lucifer. So, I'm not trying to spoil anything, but if you haven't seen the show and you want to watch it, maybe you don't want to watch this presentation. So there are the topics we're going to be talking about. So before we start off, let's get into the methods to decoding. Now, if you're a new subscriber or a new watcher of my channel, welcome. And all I'm going to say is just follow the breadcrumbs. This is like putting a puzzle together. And of course, if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so very much for your support. But let's move on with this. You can skip this methods of decoding. Look down in the description and you can move right into the presentation if you're a returning subscriber. But basically what we do is we put the puzzle together, folks. You see, we have to mix and match. We have to connect the dots with certain layers in the mystical arts to be able to really strengthen the story, to support the story. And again, it's a story. Everything I'm showing you is all going to be coming down to whether or not you want to agree with the story. That's all we're doing, is defining the story, making it bigger, making the narrative more clear. So first and foremost, we use what's called numerology. Some call it gematria, but you need to know the numbers, the science of numbers. You can't just connect the dots and say, I've got it figured out. You need to know what the numbers mean. I want you to notice, the words heaven and hell, and, we're told Lucifer runs hell. So I've got a highlight here. Notice it is the number 43, heaven and hell, which, numerology equals the number 43. But nonetheless, hell is a 16. And when you bring in the cards of illumination, the typical poker deck in the cards of illumination, there are 52 cards. And, again, if you've followed my research, they're embedded into nature. 52 cards, 52 weeks, 4 suits, 4 seasons, 13 cards per suit, matching the 13 weeks per season. Spring, summer, fall, and winter. So these are highly accurate, and if you haven't seen my video on how to decode yourself, you should watch that, because decoding who you are is one of the most important things you could do to find the keys to your kingdom. But nonetheless, notice the word hell is a 16. The 16th card in the lineages of the cards is the 3 clubs card. And what's interesting about this card is this dude right here, who is the character who was casted to run Lucifer, which is on now season number 5. He was born on November 17th, and this is the card of November 17th. And again, as I say, and I'm going to say it and keep saying it, this game of life that we play is completely rigged. It's fixed. To what level, I don't know. I say completely, but I don't know how far that goes. But I'm showing this over and over and over in the videos that I do, that the big stories in our matrix, they're all linked together. And it would be absolutely impossible for the people that are part of these big things in our matrix reality to sit down and really map it out before it all happens. It's not possible, folks. So again, hell's a 16. The 16th card is the 3 clubs. And this guy's birthday is the 3 clubs card, who was casted to play Lucifer, who is supposedly the ruler of hell. When we move from the cards of illumination to the tarot, which is the offshoot of the cards of illumination, these came after, according to history, the cards of illumination. There are 77, sometimes 78, depending on how you observe the tarot. But the 3 clubs is the 3 wands. Wands means clubs. This is the 24th card in the deck. And what's interesting about 24 is it's the letter X in the English alphabet. That's the 24th letter, and that's why I have. This is the X chromosome. And what's interesting about this is the females, you females have 2 of them. And what's kind of interesting is in this show, Lucifer, he's referred to as Lucy. You've heard the terminology Lucy in the sky with diamonds. You've maybe seen the movie Lucy. It just goes really, really deep. So this is the methods, folks. We connect the dots, and it starts to tell a story. Is this guy, or at least Lucifer itself, running hell? Is that character in control of our chromosomes? Because, folks, I believe we're in hell. You're in it. That's why there's a lot of suffering down here. As much of a great place as it is, there's a lot of suffering. Is there not? So let's start getting into the actual presentation and getting into the theology part of it. Now, this is the only scripture in the entire Bible originally that has the character Lucifer in it. Isaiah 14 verses 12. And I've shown this before in my other presentation. And notice, it's 14 verses 12. Here are the 2 cards from the tarot that match up with 14 verses 12. It's the Temperance card, which is the angel of great balance. The symbology is absolutely crazy with this one. Got to balance yourself. Here's the the right side up pyramid, illumination. The illumination volcano or mountain behind. 1 foot on water, 1 foot on land. So much symbology, and it's an angel. Talking about Lucifer now. The fallen angel. And then you have verses 12. Here's the 12th card, the hangman. Remember, he is the fallen angel. Right side up, upside down, but still causing illumination. It's really fast. Look at these cards and the connections, and you can clearly see the narration playing out with these cards in the symbology. That's why it's amazing when you link them to numerology. Even this is a 38. That's the Queen Diamonds card, and that's embedded into the Manchurian Candidate movie, which is about man being used. MK Ultra. That's for a different story. What about the numbers themselves? 14 plus 12 equals the number 26. That's the element iron on the periodic table. Iron has an atomic weight of 55, and if you go to the left here, these are the 2 big words that are linked to iron. Satan's 55, God is 26. There is the 26, there is the 55. Notice the original Hebrew spelling of the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh is 26. And this deity, which is a solar deity, by the way, came out in the Iron Age, according to history. The Iron Age. Is these 2 characters one and the same, and is it part of being Lucifer? On the right side in Chaldean, notice they both have the same outcome with the 14. Satan and God are 14, and there is that Isaiah 14. And again, that would link to Satan and God, the great angel of balance. So you can see the connections. Here is the original spelling in the Old Testament, folks. The only scripture, again, the only one that references Lucifer. And this is the original spelling of it. I've got it highlighted in green because here it is. Here it is through the numerology. It's Hyll. In other words, you could say it's hell. Don't you find that fascinating? It's a number 39 that's linked to yttrium and the 88 and time travel. You see, the Roman Catholics, the church, decided to rename the name Hyll to Lucifer. It's not even close. But of course, as fate would have it, because the game of life is fixed, it doesn't matter. You just got to look a little more, connect the dots a little more. And so Lucifer is, what has been transpired in the Old Testament of the Vulgate Bible and a lot of other Bibles that have followed suit. I want you to notice that this original spelling, because this is the English version of it, okay? This is the original version. And when you decode the original version, which I have, do I have it? I don't even have the original version. My apologies. The original version right here. If you decode that, you're going to get the number 478. I've shown this in my other video. 478 is what that decodes down to in the original Hebrew spelling. And of course, when you go into the string of pi, the never-ending digits of pi, the measurement of a perfect circle. We're living in the circle and the square. But nonetheless, the original spelling of Isaiah 14 verses 12 in the Hebrew, because that's where it came first, has seniority. It ends up becoming the number 478. 478 in the string of pi appears at the 1,407th decimal digit of pi. And we're told, if you've been following my research, and if you haven't, folks, go study Manly P. Hall, one of the great Freemasons. He'll clearly been quoted saying that Lucifer's number is 741. And this element right here, lutetium, Lucy, Lucifer, clearly has it in its atomic weight or mass. It's right there, which is another match of the 147 right there, which is the 478. And go fact check this. Go type out Isaiah 14 verses 12 Hebrew, and then go to your Bible hub and then copy and paste it. Put it in the numerology decipher decoder, and you'll see for yourself it's going to come to 478. I mean, this is how you really decode and find out what the true narrative is of the story. Because remember, this is a story. It's a story. What about the cards of illumination and the tarot and the elements of the periodic table? Because they're all in bed together. Again, this is the original spelling of Lucifer. Hell, Hyll, or Hallel is what they like to say. But, depends on how you pronounce it. But they didn't use vowels back then. So it's just 4 consonants, and it totals 39. And that's why I got the snake there. You see the snake's tongue right there? Look at what the 39th element, folks. Look at the abbreviation. It's called yttrium. It's the letter Y, which is what the shape of a snake's tongue is. In the shape of a letter Y. Yttrium only has one atomic weight or mass, 88, which is associated with time travel, according to Hollywood. Back to the Future 1985. Can't prove that, but you see how these are connected, though. And would it indicate that Lucifer is trying to be elusive and being a time traveler, trying to dodge around and hide? The 39th card, matching that of Hallel, the original Lucifer spelling, is the King Diamonds. Remember, Lucy is in the sky with diamonds. Lucy in the sky with diamonds. The 39th card is the King Diamonds. The counterpart is the 77th card, the King of Pentacles. Diamonds means pentacles. And the 77th element is iridium, which is all about the colors of the rainbow. Colors of the rainbow, and we're going to get into that. Now let's get into the Father and the devil. You are your father, the devil. Ye. This is what John 8:44 says, folks. Ye are of your father, the devil, and the lusts of your father ye will do. Again, this is the game of life's fixed. It's telling you what's going to happen. It's telling you what's going to happen in your life, folks. Who's our father? Well, yeah, obviously we have a physical father, but where did it all start from? Where did it all start from? Did it really start from Adam and Eve? Because it says right here that we're from the devil. That's our father. This is a quote from Jesus, by the way, in John 8:44. When you do the alchemology of John 8:44, here it is. You take the numerology output, the numbers from the letters, and we bring it into alchemy, the elements of the periodic table. It's called alchemology, where you then take these atomic weights or masses from the John 8:44, go over to the trusty calculator, and notice what the outcome is. 154.928. And the element that's linked to that, follow the trail here, is the 64th element, gadolinium. And remember, folks, there are 64 possible codons in our DNA. 64 squares on a chessboard. If you follow the human design, personal development, 64 gates of the I Ching. It's a big deal number. This is the third eye and the heart. The third eye is what runs our matrix reality. That's what they want to take control of, and your heart, because what you fall in love with, you're going to believe. Those are 6 and 4, those two numbers in numerology are a big deal. 6 is the first master number. We're told God finished his great work on the 6th day. So if we're talking about us being from the Father, and that's the devil, and that number leads to the number 64, which is the possible codons in our DNA, where does that lead us, folks? Where does that lead us? Who's our Father? Let's keep going. In the book of Genesis, 6 verses 4, talks about the Nephilim. The sons of God came down and they had children. Notice, that here it is. 153.921. When you add up both sides, the feminine and the masculine, you're going to get the number 1074. And there's that 174 again. Manly P. Hall, Lucifer is represented by the number 741. It really doesn't matter the sequence of the numbers. What matters is the numbers are expressing themselves exactly the same way. I mean, this is a no-brainer here. I mean, if you can't put the pieces together with this, Lucy, Lucifer, lutetium, 7 and 1. It's the mirror of the 17. That's 88. 17 plus 71 is 88. I've already showed the 88, folks. We're all stars. The 17th card in the tarot is the star card. So there it is, which is related to Aquarius. We're in or moving into the age of Aquarius. All will be revealed. And here is the Nephilim a little bit further. This is the original spelling again in the Hebrew. They originated it. It's a number 76, which is linked to Osmium, the Wizard of Oz. When you do the alchemology of Nephilim, going over to the trusty calculator, you're going to get 153.897. There it is again, folks. I don't know how much more evidence you need. So, Lucifer, is this the angel cast down, part of the Nephilim, the leader, the fallen angels, and is this our Father? Originally, if you link it all back. Let's take a little bit of an esoteric trip now, or get into the Vedic stuff. What about the root chakra? The red. The Catholic Church it's obvious, and I don't take anything away from their beauty, because it is a really beautiful, structured religion if you take out all the bad stuff, what we label bad. There is some beauty in everything. But, it's really heavily dealt in red, black, and white. If you study the colors of the Catholic Church, it leads over 1 billion people. And folks, if you haven't seen my video on Decoding the Pope, it's clear, crystal clear. They're run by the puppet master, clear as day. And they're steeped in the color red. This is the lowest chakra point. But if you study the rainbow, here's the rainbow. Remember, we're the image and likeness. We're the mirror. And when you look at a rainbow, the red's at the top. If you flip that, the red's at the bottom, which is where we get our rainbow and we get our chakra points. When you take the scripture of us being the father of the devil, and us doing the lusts of the Father, if you take that scripture, you're going to get 197 letters. These are the subtleties when you decode reality. Taking quotes. If a song pops in your head, you should be decoding it. It's trying to talk to you. It's 197 letters. That's the element Mercury. Mercury has several atomic weights or masses. 197 is one of them. It's a match of this scripture saying we are of the father, the devil. Mercury is linked to the root chakra because Mercury has to communicate to all the other chakra points, to all the other colors. That's its job. The communicator. Quicksilver. In the Vedic system, it's called the Muladhara. 27, that's the dragonfly card in the medicine cards. It's the ace diamonds. It's linked to the pyramids. I want you to notice Mercury is 23. That's linked to the word crown. This is the upside down crown. It's the crown on a rainbow because a rainbow, again, this is what a rainbow looks like over our head. But if you flip it, it's going to be at the bottom. But if you look at it from, if you have one going over a lake, if you see one out, next time you see a rainbow, you're going to notice red's at the top. That means crown. And this is the crown, but again, it's upside down crown. So there's two sides to every coin. What about the string of pi? What does that tell us? Well, folks, listen, I'm here to tell you, Mercury is the matrix. It is the planet of communication. It's the color that is representing the matrix. It's part of the spider web. Notice, these two words, Mercury and crown, are 23. It's the royal star of the lion in numerology, which is why Michael Jordan, LeBron James, all of them wear the number. They're owned by the crown. But look at in the string of pi, the 43 appears at the 23rd and 24th decimal digit of pi. The 43rd card is the spider. It's the spider web. The crown is spinning the web over the earth, which is tied into Lucifer, God, Yaldabaoth, the Yod. They're all together. They're all in bed together. And even the word spider equals the number 23. So look at how strong these tie-ins are. Mercury and crown 23. In the string of pi, 43 appears at the 23rd. And the word spider, which is the 43rd card, is 23. This is the spider slinging its web. Spider-Man. And then we get into the light spectrum, folks. Stick with me on this, folks. Stick with me on this. This is really important. The light spectrum that's visible to our eyes, the infrared and the ultraviolet. Notice I've got them circled here. It's 700 nanometers and 400 nanometers. 4 and 7 is 74 and 47. The two opposites of one another. Tungsten is illumination. The 23rd letter in the alphabet is the letter W, which is linked to the crown. Mercury, the spider web. They're spinning this web. Matrix can be called the web, the artificial web. 47's tetragrammaton, which is the box we live in. I mean, look at these right here, folks. Ultraviolet, the two opposite ends, and infrared, when you decode those, it ends up becoming the number 70. 70 through the string of pi, 96 decimal digit. That is the yin-yang. I mean, you couldn't get any more clear on that. The yin-yang is tied to ultraviolet and infrared, the two colors that hold in the light spectrum itself. And it's run, this is Jesus Lucifer right there. They both equal the number 74. Tungsten's all about making light bulbs, which is about illumination. And down in the lower parts, you have silver, quicksilver, mercury, quicksilver, and that's tetragrammaton. Again, 106, those are the days of creation, 1 through 6. So yeah, these are all subtle, but when you really decode it, you can clearly see what's going on with this story. Let's get into Lucifer, the name the Roman Catholic Church decided to call him. And again, as fate would have it, it really doesn't matter. The word Pope equals the number 28, matching that of Lucifer. The word Pope. Who do you think's running the Pope? Who is running the Pope? Let's look at the string of pi. Here it is. 28, which is tied to Lucifer, tied to Pope, tied to antimony. If you've been following my research, you know how important these numbers are. Tied to Pluto. The 28 appears, it's a compound number, meaning more than one. It appears at the 33rd and 34th. But notice it starts at the 33. And you can't just say, oh, there it is, Freemasons and Jesuits. Man's not doing anything, folks. They're being used. They're being used. 33 and 34 is 67, which is linked to the Nephilim again. But notice that, 28 is nickel. It's nickel, and it means devil's copper. That's what it means. Devil's copper. And we're going to get into the 57. We're going to get into that 57. Let's get into the Netflix show now, folks. And again, if you haven't seen this, well, I'm going to be showing you some stuff, and it's going to be kind of spoiler alert, so you may not want to watch this from here on out. But this show here, folks, I mean, people say, the Bible is divinely inspired. This show's divinely inspired because it's telling you what's going on in the truth. It's telling you, maybe not all of it, but if you dig, if you decode, you're going to find the truth. What I believe to be the truth. I'm going to show you some things right now, folks. It's going to blow your freaking doors off. I don't know how you'd refute this. You'd have to prove me wrong now because there's going to be such close tie-ins to this, man. You honestly, you have to be ignorant not to say, oh, wow, that looks pretty true. This is Lucifer's mother. This is who they casted to play his mom. That's all I'm going to say. This is his mom that got casted to play in the show Lucifer. This is his mom. This is her real name now, folks. Her real name, Trisha Janine Helfer. Go look her up. Very successful actress. Notice, the subtleties again. Her last name, Helfer, is a match of the word Lucifer. 28. Her total name in numerology is a 58. And the element nickel, because it has several weights, has an atomic mass of 58. It's right there. And we're gonna get into more of this. I'm gonna keep showing this. This right here, I mean, this is more nails in the coffin of the game of life is rigged. Folks, there's no way that, you know how much effort would have to go into casting these people? And I mean, I'm just using one numerology cipher, man. If you get into the other ones, I can break it down that way, the English and the septenary. It would be impossible for man to do this. It's not possible. These people have no idea that they're attached to stuff like this. They don't have a clue. Here is, in season 2, this guy right here, Timothy Michael Obmudson. plays his dad. This is God, folks. This is what Lucifer the show is telling you is God. This is the guy right here. And his real name, his birth name, it's 22 letters. Remember, dragon, Michael, those words all equal 22. And I mean, look at, he's got Michael as his middle name. He's got Timothy, which equals 26, which is the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh, that equals 26. This guy's full name in numerology is the number 89. This is a big deal number. It's what's called a prime Fibonacci number. And when you come down here, number empire, it's a prime number, the 24th, and it's a Fibonacci number, the 11th. There's not many numbers that are like this. And if you know your numerology, 8 and 9, I mean, 8 is death and regeneration, 9 is the higher mind. And if you put those two together, you know exactly what it means. Leads to the 17 if you want to reduce down. That's the star card. That's linked to Lucifer, which links to the number 8, which is about death and regeneration. And we're going to talk about that. And they casted this guy to play God, to play Lucifer's father. Folks, right here, this is where the Gnostic demiurge, which to me now, it's crystal clear who's running this matrix. It's Yaldabaoth. That equals the number 89. And this guy they cast to play God is 89? Remember, folks, the 24th letter in the English alphabet is the X, which is linked to our chromosomes. The 24th element on the periodic table is called chromium. If you've seen my video on Welcome to the Machine in Pink Floyd, the machine is 24. That's us. We're the machine, part of it. These are big, big tie-ins. So here it is. You know, folks, the 24th letter in the English alphabet is the X linked to the X chromosomes. If you go to the Hebrew alphabet, this is the 21st letter, which is now the modern day, looks like a little D here, but if you follow history, it was an X. 21, guess what 21 is? That's Saturn. That's the world card in the tarot. It's the 8 clubs, and that card is the 888 card, which is Jesus and Lucifer. And the Sumerian, it's 444 and 444, both of them, and that equals 888. The personality of Yaldabaoth is Jesus and Lucifer. Good cop, bad cop. I mean, look at these, the numeric string, 89 appears at the 11th decimal digit of pi, right? And it's the 11th Fibonacci number. The 11th sign is Aquarius, which means man, one of the 4 fixed signs in astrology. I mean, these are massive connections, folks. Massive. Telling us the narrative. Let's keep going. Let's talk about God and the goddess, the father and the wife. I mean, the husband and the wife, the father and the mother. Here are the original spellings. This is the guy they portrayed as God, Lucifer's father, and here's Lucifer's mother, Timothy and Tricia. And here are their numerology outputs. It totals 147. 47 is the tetragrammaton. The 1 behind it just means a superior 47. When you take their last names, which their parents didn't even give them, it becomes the number 69, which is the yin-yang. Masculine, feminine. We're talking about mother and father, God and goddess. Folks, these syncs are insane. And yet, you think man's doing this? Man's not doing anything. They're not doing a damn thing. Man's being used to play out the narrative. Here are more syncs. You want more proof, folks? Here's the Father. Here's God. Next time you get on your knees, next time you pray, you better be real crystal clear what you're praying to, because it wants your energy. or being used for food. I'm going to get into that in a minute. But here is this guy's birth name in the English. You want more solidified support? Just so you know, I'm not trying to pull the woolly over your eyes. His total name is a 276 in the English. When you link that to the elements of the periodic table, it's linked to the 109th element, metnerium, because it's got an atomic weight of 276. Folks, if you go to numberempire.com, 109 is the 29th prime number. And the Gnostic demiurge, Yaldabaoth, is a direct match of the 29. Great artist rendition right there. The word it's 109, you take out the 0, it's battery. This is a battery system that we live in, and it's run by this character right there. Allah from Islam, it's all Yaldabaoth, folks. There is no separation. You may want to think there's some kind of separate. Oh well, that's not how God. No, the God of this world is Yaldabaoth. It's the Yod, it's Lucifer, it's all tied up and wrapped into one. And you're seeing these connections. I'm not just showing you one way, I'm showing you myriads of ways. Let's keep going. I'm going to show you even more. This guy was born on July 29th. Timothy, who's portraying God in the show Lucifer. Trisha, his mom, is born on April 11th. Notice if you reduce down, 29 is an 11, and hers is an 11. 29, of course, is Yaldabaoth. Right there. The guy's born on July 29th, and he's playing God, and it's linked to Yaldabaoth. I mean, how you wrap your mind around this? So the 29th element's copper, which is linked to Boaz and Jachin in the Solomon Temple and links to Freemasonry, and that's where it all leads to, folks. But notice that, hers is the sodium, 11, because she's born on the 11th. He's born on the 29th. Copper and sodium. 29 protons and 11 proton. When you add up 29 and 11, you're going to get the number 40, which is called zirconium. Look at the weight of zirconium. 89. Which once again leads us to Yaldabaoth. 89. Zirconium is originated from the Arabic word zargun. It means gold. And if you study alchemy, it's all about turning lead into gold. Folks, we're the lead, and then we're supposedly sucked into gold, and then we're being used for food. We're energetic food. Folks, this is the symbol or the icon that the Royal Society of Chemistry uses. It's the scarab beetle, which if you like bands of music, that's where the Beatles can't come into play. They're all about the esoteric and the occult. It's this element 40. And it's all about renewal and resurrection, death and regeneration. What do you think the mother and father of this world that created this world, what do you think it's all about? Death and regeneration. Renewal and resurrection. That's where Jesus got resurrected from. I spelled this wrong. But it's clear, folks. Again, how do you wrap your mind around this? These people getting casted for the show. You think the producers are looking at all these layers and saying, we have to have it this way, she's got to be born. Do you know how long it's not possible? Let's support it even more, folks. The 40th card in the deck of the Cards of Illumination, the typical poker deck, is the Ace Spades card, which is linked to that right there. I'm not even going to say it so my video doesn't get flagged. This is the official card of this right there. And go study Isaiah 45 verses 7. I, the Lord, create evil and good. Well, yeah, hello, of course you do. Of course you do. 40th element, Yaldabaoth, Ace Spades card. And if you know what the Ace Spades card is, well, you got another head start. But it's the official card of what's going on in our world right now. That's what's going on. This is a card of death and regeneration. What do you think this is doing? We're in a reset. We're coming at the end of a reset. Man's being used. Look at their birthdays. I'm going to put some nails in the coffin right now, folks. If you just take their birthdays to and from, not including their years, I'm going to show that one right now. Look at the result. From April 11th to July 29th, it's 109 days. And here again, 109 is the 29th prime number. That is Yaldabaoth. Yaldabaoth, folks. That's who's running this world. What about the timestamp of dad and son? He's born on July 29th. Thomas John Ellis is November 17th. If you actually do their timestamp, it's 3,398 days apart. Folks, look at what I have circled here. It's 111 months, 19 days. Do you see the 119 in there, folks? And you want to tell me that man's doing all this? Oh yeah, the producers and they're selecting these people. Man's not doing anything. It's not possible to get these outcomes. Your jaw should be on the floor right now from what I'm showing you. These people don't even know it. They don't even know it. Here's the timestamp for God and his son in real life. Timothy and Thomas, both starting with the letter T. 20th letter, that's the judgment card. But nonetheless, look at this, folks. July 29th to November 17th, 111 days, which matches 111 months. You can't make this up. 1.21 gigawatts. What's in a bolt of lightning as in electricity? Elohim is 111. Do you see it? Chloe Decker was the detective in Lucifer who fell in love with Lucifer. And if you follow the story, Lucifer, she was made for him. Predestination. She got all upset about it when she found out. Their names in the story, her name's Chloe Decker, his name's Lucifer Morningstar. That's what he goes by. Look at the outcomes. It's getting monotonous now. There's another 109 tied to Yaldabaoth. The number 311 in the English, 64th prime number. 64, the GD. What is GD? God. And there's that 57 tied to nickel. Yaldabaoth, folks. Do you realize what would have to go into picking these characters, casting them, choosing their names, and having them tie up with not one numerology cipher, but multiple, tying it up into prime numbers, tying it up into alchemy and numerology? It's not possible. But it's telling you the story of what's really going on behind the scenes. Here's Lauren Kristen German. This is Chloe Decker. This is her real birth name in numerology. It equals the number 71. That's one of Lucifer's elements, lutetium, 174. Notice, the subtleties. Lauren's 22, Dragon's 22. Michael's 22. Christine's 29, that's Yaldabaoth. Subtleties, but obviously makes the story as ironclad, strong. What about Lucifer's older brother? The first angel, supposedly. This guy's name's Amenadiel. Supposed to be the good guy. David Brian Woodside. David is his birth name. We're going to show you that in a minute. Look at the two cards. He was born on July 25th. Ellis was born on the 17th. They both have the 3 clubs card. There's the 33, folks. 33 steps. 33 vertebrae. Illumination. Good cop, bad cop. And then, you get into Revelation 22, which 22 is Michael and dragon. Those all equal 22. It says, I, Jesus, did send my messenger to testify to you these things concerning the assemblies. I am the root and the offspring of David, the bright and morning star. David, the good guy in the show. They're both 74. Arsenic, 33. 74. 33. Are you seeing it now, folks? Are you seeing it now? We're almost finished with this. How about this is the producer, the executive producer of Lucifer, Jerry Bruckheimer, which his full birth name is Jerome Leon Bruckheimer. His card is also the 3 clubs. September 21st. Another 33. I mean, folks, how do you wrap your mind around this, really? Do you see all the synchronicities? There are so many that I've shown during this presentation. Man's being used. September 21st, which is Jerry Bruckheimer's birthday, is the 264th day of the year. Thomas Ellis, who plays Lucifer, November 17th, 321st day of the year. 321 minus 264, 57. 57 days in between these guys' birthdays. That is Lucifer, folks. Oh, wait, there's more. Let me show you some more. When you take their full birth names, what's on their birth certificate, Jerome Leon Bruckheimer, Thomas John Ellis, you're going to get a total of 138. That's tied to the 57th element, Lanthanum. And what does Lanthanum mean? It means to lie hidden, disguised. And that's tied to nickel because Lanthanum has 57 protons. Nickel has an atomic weight of 57. Nickel means devil's copper. Nickel is Lucifer. Folks, I mean, are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? These guys don't even know what's going on. Maybe some of them do, but not at this level. Here are the timestamps of these two guys. Executive producer, main character. Jerry Bruckheimer, September 21st, 1943. Thomas John Ellis, 11/17/1978. Here's the timestamp. It's a result of 12,841 days. That's the time in between their dates of birth. When you take the alchemology of that, 12841, 12841, and you add it up in the trusty calculator, you're going to get the number 31.026. 31 plus 26 is 57. 57 again. 57. 57. Folks, I'm not just showing one layer. I'm showing so many layers that it's undeniable at this point that man is being freaking used, or being used. Here's the timestamp of these two guys. Forget about the year. 9/21, Bruckheimer, and Thomas Ellis, 11/17. Look at how many days in between their birthdays. Just the days in between, not the years, like I showed it here. These are the years. Still comes out to 57. But the days in between 9/21 and 11/17 is 57 days. How's that possible, folks? I'm showing it here. I'm showing it here. I'm showing it here. I'm showing it here. And you're talking about the executive producer and the main character in the show? Devil's copper, folks. It's crystal clear. Crystal clear. So that's all I got. I mean, what is it that you saw during this presentation? Folks, I could have given you 3 more hours of content. I had slides I had to delete. But what is it that you saw during this presentation? I'd love to hear your comments, folks. Listen, man is being used. I don't know at what level, but it's clear what's going on. That man's being used. Possession, puppets on strings, dogs with collars. So next time you walk your dog, who's walking you? So that's all I got for today. My name is Logan. This is Decode Your Reality. Thank you so very much for watching.